Welcome into episode 7 of Three Strikes and You're Out. And there it is, verification that we did finish in third place in the Bundesliga on 67 points. Dortmund, of course, champions on 89 points. So an incredible job, historic season for Freiburg, probably their highest ever finish. Has to be their highest ever finish in the Bundesliga as we qualify for the Champions League for the first time in history, and hopefully look to build on the squad and do some things in the Champions League, and as well as close the gap between these two squads. We haven't fared very well against Bayern, Dortmund, and Leipzig, although we did get a point off Leipzig in a crucial match. And I think that was kind of their issue. Too many draws. As you see, we did have the third most wins of any team in the division, so I think deservedly so, finishing in third place as we did a nice job of avoiding too many draws. 7 losses, might want to improve on that. As you see, of course, picking up 2 losses to Bayern and 2 to Dortmund, and then 1 against Leipzig. So only 1 point out of those 6 matches between kind of our 3 biggest competitions for top of the league. Would like to improve on that. But we did finish the year in a game you did not see as our schedule, I guess I'll look at. We finished out the year with a 1-0 victory against Bayer Leverkusen, in which we started a few youngsters, including Jens Kramer, our young Dutch goalkeeper, who I didn't expect much from in his first ever senior appearance at any level. Picked up a 7.5 rating and a shutout, so way to go. Nice job by Kramer, and like I said, I am a genius, and that transfer is going to work out just dandy. Just kidding. I think he's one probably for the future as you saw our budget and the fact that Mark Flecken moved on. We're going to be goalkeeper shopping, and we probably have some good money to do so. But now we're going to take a look at that season review, the historic season that was. We'll take a look at our newest signings, and looks like the signing of the season, as there weren't too many, was Fabian Nürnberger. I guess maybe they're just including the few I signed, but makes sense. 8 appearances from, I believe that's 5 starts or maybe 3 starts, 2 assists, 6.92 rating, which is pretty good for that midfield position. And then actually, I would say Eggestein is definitely the actual signing of the season. This is a real life signing, so it wasn't just my signings. And he's come in. Can't believe they got him on a free as a 25-year-old midfield. Quite a good player. So he did, undisclosed. Okay, so they did sign him. I think, Werder Bremen got relegated the season before and probably had some sort of relegation clause in his contract to get signed up. One of the competition surprise packages, consistently defying expectations owing largely to impressive spell of form between August and September that saw them rise to 4th. And I would say we kind of started off pretty well. Oh yeah, here it is. Look at it. As I was kind of worried. You saw us lose to Dortmund, then we had that draw away to Stuttgart, which rivalry match, getting a point, I thought that was okay. Stuttgart ended up being in the relegation playoff spot. Or actually, no, they got relegated straight up. So, it didn't look as good of a result in retrospect at the end of the season. But, then you take this look at this run. And then we had a lot of games where, these draws where we maybe got a late winner. This one, I think, was the red card. But just avoiding losses at times and then, just not letting too much get to you and picking up crucial wins when we absolutely needed it. This draw against Leipzig and this win against Wolfsburg, I think, were by far our 2 biggest matches. Maybe they just seemed like it because they're against European rivals for European competition. I thought maybe we'd dip in form, or right here, this loss to Köln and then the loss to Mainz. I thought, here we go. But then big bounce back against teams we should beat. And then, getting that draw and that win was huge. A lot of green on there. A lot of green and orange. A few little red dots. A couple little runs of orange form. But really, drawing a lot of away matches and not losing them, and then just winning and drawing at home and really never losing at home. I guess now that I've got 2 losses at home, 3 losses at home, 4 losses at home. So actually more losses at home. So let's try and improve on that. Here we go. Some of the biggest wins against Augsburg, a 4-0 win, although I would say a bigger win was the 4-0 against Wolfsburg, as it was an equal score line and probably had bigger implications for the season. Then another match to remember against Augsburg was the 3-0 win on February the 19th. Not exactly sure why. And the goal of the season was a goal from Roland Shalai as he runs from inside his own half over hitting a daisy cutter from 26 yards. And can we see that? I don't know if we can. Looks like we can. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this goal of the season. So I think it's just on all the goals. Yep. Okay. Well, yep. This is how it started. That wasn't a great start. It's Bielefeld getting an easy gift. But like I said, like this team showed all year round, and there it was. So maybe we're not known for the most impressive goals, but nice effort from Shalai. It looked like he finished off the day. Yeah, I remember that game. But yeah, this team always showed resilience, able to get a result, even falling behind or trailing by 2 goals, things like that. Take a look at finances. Our reputation has stayed the same. Finances should go way up. Sponsorship, $15 million. Broadcast revenue. But competition prize money, look at that. Almost, we're at 90 million euros. Almost 100 million euros from finishing where we did. So that's where the money comes in the Bundesliga. So I don't think there's anything more valuable than finishing where we did in the league. And makes me feel even better that I didn't worry so much about the cup. And I think we got that big come-from-behind draw against Leipzig because of it. Take a look at our, I think this is a best 11. Yeah, this is how we lined up. Of course, Flecken and net. A back four of Gunter, Schlotterbeck, Leinert, and then they have Schmid, actually, who was our primary right back for, I guess the majority of the first half of the season. Eventually sold on to Fiorentina. And he actually kind of gave way to Kubler and started playing some left winger as Shalai, as you can see, kind of struggled a little bit. But Höfler and Eggestein were kind of our mainstays in that midfield first half of the season. Johannes Flum, and then Nürnberger came in and filled in that Höfler role here and there, and Eggestein did a great job in that box-to-box midfield role. Then that attacking front three, Shalai, Grifo, Zhang was pretty much consistent all game. Schade, of course, often coming in on the left-hand side as a substitute for Shalai, just to get the youngster a little bit of playing time. And then they have Demirovic, who once we found out that we were going to be losing Lucas Huller, I had Demirovic kind of being our primary striker. And you see his 7.2 rating and 17 goals from 22 appearances. And I think that's 14 starts. So 17 goals, 5 assists from 14 starts. Love it. Accolades, lots of accolades. Okay, let's see, club awards. Player of the season, fans player of the season was Philipp Leinert. Like that, yeah, solid defensively. That's something I worry about losing Flecken, as I really think our being so solid defensively really helped our campaign. Young player of the season was the Bosnian Ronaldo, Demirovic. Can't disagree with that. Signing of the season, Nürnberger. I don't know, probably would have went with Eggestein, as Nürnberger really didn't play a whole lot. Shalai saw that goal of the season. Demirovic, most goals, most assists was Zhang with 10, who I believe also had 16 goals. So probably most goal contributions of any player on the team with the 16 goals and 10 assists. Actually, 18 goals if you count. Oh, I'm sorry. Still 16 goals. He had 1 additional assist in the cup. Most player of the match awards, 6 for the Bosnian Ronaldo. Highest average player rating was the 7.3 for Leinert. And most passes complete, Leinert. Record breakers, most goals. So Zhang, I'm guessing it's taking the record starting from this season, because I have a feeling Freiburg's had someone get a hat trick before in their history. But right now, Zhang has that honor with a hat trick this season. Hat trick in a league match. Most assists in a season. Demirovic, most players of the match awards. Worst discipline, Lucas Kubler. Something we got to worry about, although Kammerbauer, our younger right back, will probably be the primary starter. And most league goals career-wise, Nils Petersen will be leaving us, and so we'll be looking for that. But the way Demirovic is playing, a couple years' time, he'll surpass that 84 goal mark. And Kevin Schade, our youngest goal scorer at 20 years of age. But I got a few candidates that might break that mark as well. So that was our little season review. Going to have our whole kind of off-season, and I'll maybe kind of splice in transfer news here and there as the summer goes along. And if it's not too eventful, maybe just show you what happens at the end of it all before we get into the start of the 22-23 season. So excited for it. Excited for the Champions League draw and excited to spend this money. And actually, now that things have switched over, do they still give us that $50 million budget to spend on transfers? Please, please do. 52, still got it in the bank. 52 million with about 175, 200,000 to spend on payroll. And I don't know. I've never done anything like that in this game. So we shall see how that goes. Might not spend it all right away. Save some for January just to see where we need some things. But I think with the prize money at stake, would definitely like to move on to at least the knockout rounds of the Champions League or into the Europa League. So a third place finish or better out of that group stage, which is going to take a bit of bolstering and depth to the squad. But as you see, still got an A- here rocking. But yeah, I'll let you know all about those transfers here in just a minute. So I got some work to do. Okay, we are back, and this is actually interesting because it's about a week later for me in real life time. So I had to step away, do some things, but we have also fast forward in time all the way to the start of the 2022-2023 season. We will get into the match against Wolfsburg and Hamburg is how we're going to start our season. Newly promoted Hamburg, as we've played through our preseason and gotten through the first round of the DFB Pokal. But before we do all that, do want to get into our transfers, as you did see some of these transfers, as I've discussed already. It's Paul Seguin, Gail Alonso, Simon Stella, and Jans Odegaard were all signed last season on free contracts. And we're going to be starting up July 1st of this year. It is now August, so they have joined up with the squad. And I will say, after bringing all of them in, they didn't impress me as much as I first thought, but they've all actually impressed quite well in their limited time and a couple of the friendlies I've played and things like that. And Seguin has done really well, and he can kind of play all over the place, which is nice. And will be useful to fill in the midfield, maybe at right back, in kind of the time period when we're in the Champions League and having to play a couple times a week. So good problems to have. And then Jans Odegaard actually got a goal in one of the friendlies I played, and that was set up by Capita, the first signing I ever brought in. And he's young but doing well as well. But yeah, so you kind of know about these guys. I guess Gail Alonso, center back for the future. Stella, winger, striker for the future. So those two probably won't feature very much, and Odegaard probably won't either, although if he keeps doing well in his limited time, he will, but doesn't look that great, and we've already brought in a couple players that might do better, or be better for that position. So, well, hopefully we can sell him if we have to for a profit at some point, or loan him out, but right now, I mean, I guess he'll be good for if we have injuries. But here are the big signings that you don't know about. First, starting with left back from Lille, Croatian national, has already got 4 caps. Domagoj Bradarich. Boy, Domagoj. I thought I was going to have more trouble with the first name pronunciation, but he did make 10 appearances last year for Lille in Liga, 26 the year before. So has already played at the top level in a European league and at only 22 years old. Brought him in as we lost Dominique Heinz to, I believe, Leverkusen, so just needed some left back, as we still have Gunter. So I think Gunter will probably start out as the starting left back, but nice to have Bradarich here to cover. Yeah, Bradarich, that seems about right. To cover. Can also play right back, which is nice. So yeah, he's looking good for $2.5 million, as we did say we had about, let's see, the original budget. It got restructured after some other finances, scouting budget, I think some other things, whatever. We had about $45 million to spend. So unprecedented, as I think the club's record transfer was about $8 million. So yeah. And then the second signing we made for $5 million was Facundo Torres from Peñarol, who can play on the wing. But I brought him in to be this attacking midfielder, likes to play as this advanced playmaker, and he looks really good. 22 years old, from Uruguay. That is where Peñarol is located. It's 10 goals and 10 appearances for them, 2 player of the match. So a young player just broke through, I think, with Peñarol in 2022. And expect exciting things from him. And one of the reasons we have to bring him in is that we lost another club legend in Vincenzo Grifo, who Dortmund came in with an offer for a little bit over his value. I was reluctant to get rid of him, but Grifo actually declared interest in wanting to play for a better team and decided to go for the champions from last year, Borussia Dortmund. So sold him on for a little bit of a profit. Kind of wish I would have countered for a bigger offer. But yeah, sad to see Grifo go, but I think Facundo Torres will be a really good replacement. They already had him rated higher, and at only 22 years old. Really exciting to bring him in. 22,000 per week. So a decent-sized contract, but a very good player. Then we have Amir Richardson. He's a signing for the future, $1 million. Brought him in because he can play this deep-lying playmaker role defensively. He had really good potential, although that's kind of gone down, of course, once again. But $1 million for a future signing from Le Havre. He made a couple appearances in, I guess, maybe, they were probably in some lower division, as that was their second team, but did well there. So yeah, another one for the future. Maybe paid a little bit too much now that I think about it at $1 million, but just liked how he fit into the deep-lying playmaker role that we like to have on the left side of the midfield. Now, big signings here is we poached a couple players from Young Boys, who I think were a Champions League squad a year ago. Just thought we needed some more depth at center back, so brought in Cedric Zeziger from Switzerland, was playing for Young Boys. You know, we're going to be in the Champions League. Thought if he was, in fact, with Young Boys last year, played some Champions League, and did quite well with Young Boys, averaging a 7.14, 3-player of the match awards. For Young Boys, we bought him for $7 million. Just looked at his value there quickly, and he's already up to 19.5 to $22 million. He's on 35,000 per week, which is okay. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm sacrificing a lot of these bonuses and removing release clauses, and ultimately what that means is we have to sign him up for a little bit more per week. But I also like to just know, I know this is just a flat fee, so I know there's not any kind of hidden bonuses popping up that might kind of surprise me when I look at the finances and I expect we have X amount and we don't. So our next Young Boys signing is Mishak Elia. So once we got rid of Grifo, thought we needed another player for kind of this attacking front four. Elia likes to be out on the right wing, can play up front as well, so nice to have the cover after losing Peterson and Huller. We do still have Demirovic. I imagine Demirovic starting up front still, but having Elia to cover that, and then also start out on the right wing, as I think I'm now going to have Zhang move out to the left wing. Roland Shalai has been wanting a new contract, but I've been wanting to kind of see how he's played before I really get in an offer for that, but he's trying to force a move away, but I've just rejected a couple low ball offers for him. But yeah, this is a record signing. Elia signed in for $13 million. He is 25 years old, 27 caps, 8 goals for the Congo. And like I said, played for Young Boys and had a very good season last year. 14 goals from 25 league games, 3 assists on a 7.10 rating. And just wanted to bolster that attack. Now we get into some of the problems where we addressed goalkeeper, but not in the fashion I wanted to. So one of the goalkeepers we brought in was 35-year-old Andreas Lütte, who was relegated with Union Berlin last year. 63 goals allowed and 33 appearances. Ideally, I wanted him to come in as a backup, 35 years of age. He kind of mentor. He's 6'6", so I like that, just having the big goalkeeper, but thought he could mentor some of our younger keepers as we look to develop a few and kind of have a coach on the field and have a cup keeper, but once we found our main man. And I guess before we get into that last signing, I will show you kind of what happened and who the main men we were trying to bring in for goalie was. And number one was Antonio Severa, 6'1". Looks like he has 3.5-star. Current ability was at Alaves. Only made 5 appearances, I think maybe late in the season for them. But we had things arranged, but Leganes came in for an offer, and he decided to choose Leganes over us. And that was kind of a bummer because I thought he could potentially be a starter right away. Then I started kind of reaching a little bit higher because we had some money to spend, and I actually went after Zach Steffen. Steffen was on $58,000 per week. Got agreed to a $7 million transfer fee for him, so that was exciting. But I was willing to even offer him a contract. We have the money to be around this 58 mark. I thought even if we get up to 60, 65, that's all right. But when it was all said and done, he wanted 78, and then when I tried to make some adjustments, he wanted 80 some, as he has played for Freiburg too. I didn't realize that, so wanted to bring him back home. Wow, I didn't know that. Wanted to bring him back home. So yeah, apparently went to Freiburg after unknown club in Italy. That's funny. So Zach Steffen, I'm disappointed things fell apart. He would have been kind of a marquee signing. And then also we looked at, where is he? Albin Lafont, kind of same deal. He's very young from Nantes. Got him for a decent transfer fee, was much below this, but he too wanted a contract about 80,000, and we literally don't have that, so we had to walk away. But the big misstep, I think, when it comes to a keeper, and hopefully when some time passes, he'll reconsider us, was Andre Lunin, who has been a backup keeper at Real Madrid. Looks like he's only made one appearance for the senior squad last year. Agreed to a fee for him. I bet it was around 10 million. Actually, maybe even less, because he's kind of surplus to requirements at Real Madrid. Big keeper like that, 6'3". So put in an offer for him. Agreed to that. He's on 7,000 per week. He wanted around 30, 40, maybe 40, 50, and I tried to lowball it, or tried to kind of give him some low offers. He didn't like it and eventually walked away. And I'm able to keep agreeing to transfer fees with Madrid, but he just doesn't want to talk any contract talks because of how things broke down prior. So that is that for the transfers. We'll take a look at that transfer screen once again. I guess I should show some of the transfers away, or things that went out. These free transfers were all agreed to in the middle of last year. Guys running out of contract that at the time I didn't have the money to sign. Kind of wish I would have had the foresight to think about if potentially we finished in a spot in the league, we would get additional money and probably be able to re-sign everybody. But they're all getting a little bit older, all approaching 30, if not already 30. And it was no guarantee that we were going to finish in a European place. So when they were all asking for contracts, I couldn't do it. And a lot of them chose to walk out of the door because of that. But losing Kevin Schlotterbach to Hanover, Dominique Heinz to Frankfurt, Huller to Algarafa, Yannick Haber to Sochi, Nils Peterson to PAOK in Greece. That's interesting. Grifo we sold on to Borussia Dortmund. Gianluca Itter we sold to Fortuna Dusseldorf. He was on loan at Greuther Fürth last year. Left back, kind of left winger. He's just down the pecking order a little bit. Mainz came in and bought a very young Carlos Gallego, who is a young center back. Decent prospect, but we have a couple guys who are at his ability or projected to potentially be better, all around that same age. And then just a couple of loans with a couple players that we're definitely going to keep hold of and want to track the progress. Robert Wagner going out on loan once again. He's that winger, midfielder, kind of, he's probably our biggest prospect. He has been loaned out to Darmstadt, in the Bundesliga 2, and then Emilio Kerrer, who's another kind of winger prospect, 20 years old, is going out to, I don't know what club this is. Duisburg, okay, Duisburg, yes, and in the second division as well. Let's get back into those transfers. So if we take a look, that is all. Oh, yes, and then our last transfer in is Lucas Schneller from FC Bayern, goalkeeper, 6'2", really good potential ability, up there in the 4 to 4.5 star range. Only 2-star right now, but could potentially be our backup keeper to start the season. We also have Jans Kramer, who we brought in last year. He actually came in for the last game of the season just because we had our position locked up and everything, and lo and behold, got a shutout and a 7.5 rating. So the young Jans Kramer, 19 years of age, could potentially be another one for the future, but I wish, but he's just not available, I don't think, to be that consistent right now. So I thought I'd bring in Schneller as another kind of one of these keepers, and a few of them someone will rise out of this group, and if not, I think they'll all get better and we can sell them off. But we've reached the first game of the season. I don't have a starting keeper that I quite like right now, but there's still some work to be done. I'm hoping we give it some time. Lunin might give us the time of day. And then there's also a couple other players, including, I think, a keeper at Anderlecht, who I'm looking at and just waiting for the scouting to be a little bit for them to know a little bit more about him, but because he's already gone down a little bit. He originally started out at about 3.5, 4-star current ability. That's already gone down to 3, and some of the potential has gone down. He's already looking to be not quite as good as Andreas Lute, who we have, and at 35 years of age, might as well play him. I know he had a very poor season last year for Union Berlin, but that club, that team had a very poor season as a whole, and potentially with a better defense, he could have a better season. He's a more defensive-minded goalkeeper, so, at 6'6" as well. I think if he can just kind of be there to make the reaction saves and do all that, we'll be just fine. But, we're going to get into it. I think I might just put the start of the season now actually onto the next episode, as let's take a look at the schedule. So, I think I'm going to start the next episode with the first 2 games of the 22-23 season. That'll be Wolfsburg and Hamburg. And then we shall see after that, potentially take a short break off camera, and then the next episode, maybe come back for Schalke and Leipzig. I like that because see a newly promoted Schalke once again. And of course, Leipzig, who we will most likely be, well, if it's anything like last season, we'll be hovering around those European spots with. Same with Wolfsburg. So, and one more thing is that I had to talk to the team about our goals for the next season, and I said, I say we aim for the, I think the Europa Conference League spot, which is like 7th in the league, and they were disappointed about how lofty my goals were. And they thought we should just basically battle against relegation. And I'm like, boys, we finished 3rd in the league last year. We're in the Champions League. I mean, I know that's going to take away from our league form and energy levels a little bit, but I think we can at least aim for 7th. And, if we fall a little bit shy of that mark, that is just fine. But, so they were a little disappointed about that. All I said was that we make a good account of ourselves in the Champions League. They were on board for that, and then a good account of ourselves in the DFB Pokal as well. And they were on board. They seem to be okay with everything I'm doing, as does the board. Some disappointed about some of the signings. They want me to sign more players, I guess, from the lower level of the domestic German leagues. But, sorry, I just haven't had, my scouts haven't come across any that have piqued my interest too much. But maybe we'll have to work on that a little bit. But the nice thing is usually these club culture things they tend to ignore if your on-field performance does the job. But we will have those first 2 matches in the Bundesliga in the next episode. Look forward to it as, some of the season's already gotten underway. Actually, I keep wanting to end this, but I should mention Bayern. Let's look at transfer. Where is the transfer window news? So big transfer windows in the Bundesliga. Let's get into that before we leave. And Leon Goretzka has gone to PSG for 108 million, so huge signing. But PSG has had some funds open up because FC Bayern, I guess I'll have to look here, have signed the likes of, that is the schedule. FC Bayern have signed the likes of Kylian Mbappe on a free transfer from PSG. His contract ran out, but they signed him up for a contract of $350,000 per week. Let's see how Mbappe got on in France last season. 23 goals from 33 games. Already has a goal and assist from the one Bundesliga match he's been a part of. So I think Mbappe is after a Champions League crown, as Bayern, I believe, won the Champions League last season in game as well. Julian Weigl has gone to Bayern. They've made a bunch of. Gio Reyna has gone to Bayern for 44 million, and Mateus Nunes has gone to Bayern for 37 million. So that $108 million sale of Goretzka opened up a ton of funds for Bayern, who not only added Mbappe on a free, but Weigl, Gio Reyna, and Mateus Nunes as well. So Dortmund winning the championship in game last season really lit a fire under Bayern to get back to the title winning ways. And it looks like Dortmund's biggest player they brought in was Jonathan Tah from Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen has signed Kong In Lee for $25 million. Not familiar with this player. Okay, he's at Mallorca, so wow. That is a interesting signing. There's only 4 goal contributions from 38 appearances for Mallorca a season ago for Kong In Lee. But Leverkusen decided to shell out $25 million for him. Dennis Mann going to Hertha Berlin was one I saw. Winger, Romanian. He had a really good season at Parma in Serie B, although that is not the top division in Italy. And us with Mishek Elia from Young Boys, and then Borja Mayoral going into Leipzig. Leipzig's, of course, made a few signings, but we'll kind of discover what and who all of those signings were when we get into the season a little bit more. But like I said, we will come back for Wolfsburg, Hamburg in the next episode. Get season 2 underway. I'm super amped, really excited, as I'm sure the Champions League draw will come up in a few days. So we'll try and show you that as well. But as always, want to thank you for watching 3 Strikes, and you're out. Really excited for season number 2, and we will see you next time.